Welcome to the Transform Sales Podcast, where forward-thinking business leaders come to share their experiences and ideas, learn from each other, and amplify their results together. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Transform Sales Podcast. Today, our guest is Arnaud Belinga from Breakcold. How's it going today, Arnaud?
Hey, everyone. Thanks for having me, Tony. I'm doing super well.
Awesome. Well, as you know, on this show, we really are trying to get down to understanding the new software tools out there for revenue generation, with a big emphasis on understanding what's the difference between one software and another, so that people have information they can use to make better decisions about their tech stack, ideally have items in their tech stack that they actually use to its fullest potential, and suffer less buyer's remorse by signing up for 1-year agreements for stuff that they just won't ever get the most use out of. So with that said, tell us, Arnaud, about Breakcold and, what it's about, who it's for, and how it helps you to do things that they couldn't do before it existed.
Yeah, sure. So long story short, Breakcold is a sales CRM for email and LinkedIn power users. So the main problem that we notice is that usually they use a sales CRM, but all these sales CRM softwares, they've been built in the early 2000 or 2010, and you won't find new CRMs since 2010, 2015, 14 maybe. And because of that, it's all about email calling, but not about socials as well. And when it comes to B2B sales, like LinkedIn is obviously like the go-to when it comes to closing deals faster, to generating leads as well. And so pretty much the platform integrates like the power of traditional sales prospecting, so emailing, but also LinkedIn. And so the number one thing where we started is what you see right now is being able to aggregate all the LinkedIn posts of your prospects, of your CRM contacts inside the software, so that natively you can, inside the CRM, engage, so like and comment the post of your leads. But it's just about your prospects. So it's not like a junk feed where you are inside LinkedIn and you have like many different posts. It's a curated feed. So you can filter this by, I just want to focus on my customers. I just want to focus on my signups, etc., etc. So that way you can like be super productive and engaging to stay top of mind. There's tons of use cases around it. You can also filter that by sales pipeline stage. And so you can say, okay, for 20 minutes, I'm just going to engage with people who are at the discovery call stage to stay top of mind, to avoid no-shows. You can use that for existing customers to just become super likable, increasing feedback loop and word of mouth. So that is the first thing that is very different with Breakcold. The second thing that is very different with Breakcold as a sales CRM is that we have a unified inbox for email and LinkedIn. So what it means specifically is that first we aggregate all your email and LinkedIn conversation, and we auto sync everything in the CRM. So if you have a LinkedIn conversation with someone or an email conversation, everything is auto sync in the software. But also you are able to directly filter the inbox with just your CRM contacts. So with just one click on the top right, like right here, if I click, I can filter, you see, the inbox with all my LinkedIn conversations versus only my CRM contacts, so that you can really focus on your leads. And then from there, what I can do is that I can obviously reply to them, work as a team, and like sending notes between email thread. But I can also from there do something that doesn't exist everywhere, at least right now, is that you can, as you reply to someone, you can also populate the LinkedIn feed. So it works for LinkedIn and email if you're in the email inbox. And so the idea behind that is that you can engage after or before sending an email or a message to basically increase your positive reply rates from follow-ups for your first outreach, etc. But also use what you see on the right-hand side with the LinkedIn post to use that information in your outreach, which is super helpful to add a relevant PS line, for example. So from that, you can just manage it super easily and be super productive as a team as well. And from there, Like there's tons of other features. So maybe I will cut there and you will ask me a couple of questions, I guess. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's like regular sales CRM,
Wow.
but everything is designed for social and email as well all the time.
So, let's go ahead and let me ask this question.
Yeah, sure.
When you all set out to build this, what problem were you trying to solve? And in asking that question, I want to try to connect that also to who the ideal customer is for this product, right? Because people looking to solve that same problem should be able to benefit from this.
Yeah, absolutely. So when it comes to the problem was that the fastest growing agencies that we knew and the fastest startups that was growing that we knew in general, they were like they were using socials, LinkedIn specifically, but they had no easy integrations in the CRMs, and it was the case for us as well. And so we decided to tackle this problem by building a modern sales CRM, so a sales CRM that is built for 2024 and beyond, not 2010 like the other CRMs. So that way, natively inside the CRM, you save so much time because you don't have to do like 1,000 clicks to see what your prospects are doing, to see what they've posted on LinkedIn. And so you can use that information and engage with them to ultimately accelerate your sales cycle. So ultimately what we saw is how you can close deals even faster using socials and traditional sales prospecting channels like email and calling as well. And when it comes to the ideal customer profile, we mainly target agencies and sales teams in general. So when I say agencies, they do have sales teams most of the time. So SMBs in general. And when I say SMBs, like it's sales teams. So teams of SDRs, BDRs, 5 to 15 people, and also agencies who happen to have a sales team. So that is the main people we target. And everything is very designed for that because you can assign leads to your team members. It's very collaborative. You can assign tasks to team members and create some workflows out of this. So yeah.
So let's speak on this. So I'm guessing with those agencies too, especially agencies that may run cold prospecting plays on behalf of clients, right? So anyone that's selling, cold LinkedIn outreach, cold email outreach, even if they might be doing other follow-ups with phone calls and everything like that, if they provide that type of service, they might benefit from using Breakcold. This is my question. You mentioned that this is not like the 2010 CRMs.
Yeah.
So give us an idea, like paint that picture. What are some of the 2010 CRMs, those outdated, antiquated CRMs that this is not like?
You mean like what features are different from these legacy CRMs, right?
Well, I'm saying just call out the names of those legacy CRMs so we really can lock in on what you're saying.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. Like, essentially, when I'm talking about these legacy CRMs, it's really about Pipedrive, which is like most of our customers, they're churning from Pipedrive because we have very similar features to Pipedrive, but we have socials on top, and obviously socials is key to close deals faster these days. And it's also close.io, close.com, depending on what you type. So that would be the two main CRMs. But again, like some people, they will say, yeah, but I use HubSpot or maybe Salesforce. Usually people who use HubSpot, Salesforce, they're more at an enterprise level with way bigger teams than that. So I wouldn't say we're a replacement to HubSpot or Salesforce, but it's really a replacement for Pipedrive, Close, which are the main like sales CRM that people know at the SMB stage, or it could be NetHunt sales CRM as well. So that would be like, the free alternatives, I guess. Yeah.
And the primary thing that they can do with Breakcold that they can't do with Pipedrive or Close is this direct integration of being able to manage the LinkedIn prospecting or LinkedIn contacts and connections and email.
Yeah, from one place.
From one place. Got it. Now, if folks are using channels other than LinkedIn and email for their cold prospecting or for their outbound, does that mean that they would end up having to have two systems to manage that other activity, the activity on other channels, and just kind of like integrate it with this one?
Yes, correct. So if they use calling, technically if they use calling, they can like launch calls from Breakcold, there's a button where you can quickly integrate your calling software.
Could you show us that? Could you show us that while you talk about it?
Yeah. So I don't do calling myself. So, but basically here, there's a little button, and when you have the phone number of your prospect, when you click on it, it will trigger the call with your calling software automatically.
Got it.
So this is how it works. But other than that, we don't have like a native inside the software calling integration directly. But maybe by the time this video will go out, I don't know when it will be, but we should have like integrations with the most leading calling software like Aircall, CloudTalk, and other software like that. And so if they use calling or SMS, they will have to use a different software. Yeah.
Okay, so they could, so even to integrate it there with, if I'm using, I don't know, let's say WhatsApp now for some messaging, or if I am using SMS, let's see, it sounds like that means that I could use my phone dialer software. Maybe I have a VoIP provider or one of the other kind of UCOM solutions, and I can integrate it with Breakcold?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Okay. Could you show us a little bit about how then that little area where they might go in and integrate their call, their
so it would be with in the section integrations, so then you can collect with automation tools. But for the calling section, like I said, it's like you have to do nothing precisely. So just the fact that you have a calling software, when you click on this little button, it will trigger the call directly. So it's not even an integration; it's native. It launched the call in your calling software.
Got it. Understood.
Yeah. When it comes to integrations in general, to talk about it very quickly, right now it's mostly Webhooks and Zapier, and then we're gonna have like more native integrations in the next couple of weeks. So yeah.
Cool. So now you mentioned Pipedrive and Close.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that a lot of your users are agencies or small mid-sized business owners, right? That was what we were buckets. Are there any industries that tend to stand out as well among your user group that are especially hopping on and having and finding success with Breakcold?
Yeah, so I would say it's whatever the niche, whatever the industry. First, I would separate that with people who have a high ticket offer. They tend to be the ones who obviously the return on investment is the best because they have a sales team. Most people who have a sales team have high ticket offers, to be fair. So that would be, if we separate that first, that would be people who have a high ticket offer. So in that regard, when it comes to agencies, that could be specifically lead generation agencies because they do a lot of prospecting for themselves, but also for clients. But once the leads have been generated with, for example, Smart Lead or Instantly, they're going to push the positive replies to Breakcold and using Breakcold as a proper sales CRM to nurture the conversation and to close deals. So that would be one segment, lead generation agencies, because they can use this for themselves, but also for their own clients. So people, they can pretty much like make a living out of Breakcold by selling offers on top of the agencies. The second segment would be B2B SaaS sales teams. B2B sales teams are for SaaS. So essentially SaaS that have a team of like 5 to 10 plus SDRs, BDRs that and the SaaS itself is a high ticket offer. Obviously, if it's a SaaS that is selling subscriptions less than $50 per month, it won't be a great fit. But if you are a B2B enterprise SaaS or a big B2B SaaS that is selling at least $500 per month subscriptions, or even way more than that, like we do have teams when it comes to SaaS as well. So that would be the two segments. And the third segment that is dominant, that would be the third one. It mostly in general like marketing / advertising agencies.
So what I'm hearing is if one wants to measure the success with Breakcold on the basis of ROI, then they should have an annual, let's call it an annual contract value. Their average annual contract value is $5,000 and up, somewhere in there. So that
when it comes to the ACV, I would say that would be the best fit. Otherwise, people, they will get discouraged. And just in general, like people who use a CRM, they don't have that much of a low ticket offer when it comes to sales CRM. Otherwise, they would use a marketing CRM and not a marketing CRM, we a proper sales CRM. So if you have a low ticket offer, my recommendation in general would be to go for a marketing CRM, which is will be more something like ConvertKit or like HubSpot, depending on the case. But yeah,
something that focuses a little bit more on inbound and not necessarily enables the outbound.
Yeah, correct.
Cool deal. So, and to wrap it up, let's get down to the last thing that will probably be helpful for people to understand.
Yeah.
When it comes to being ready to onboard to Breakcold, what are some of the key things that the clients should already have ready to go so that they could hit the ground running when they purchase Breakcold?
Yeah, I think like what they should have ready is a CSV list, because you can import your prospects in different way inside the software. You can import the leads with just manually, which is super boring, or you can import leads in bulk with a CSV list. So if you come from another CRM, or if you generated leads elsewhere, you can just push the data super easily with like a CSV import. So that would be the main requirement. Other than that, like if you're a sales team, like what we do often is to do an onboarding sales call, and within 30 minutes, like you pretty have all the keys to be successful. But other than that, like there's no something really special. The setup is pretty fast, and we have good resources, so people they tend to onboard themselves. And yeah, so that would be pretty much about it. Having at least a minimum amount of leads to just start to at least play with it. So 10 leads will be sufficient. Or if you don't have leads, something we haven't talked about during the call, but something that the legacy CRM don't do is enabling the team, to manage the CRM from LinkedIn and other places. So you can manage the software from other places. And I think it's probably one of the most used feature we have, because the biggest problem right now for like salespeople in general is that they spend so much time to go back to do back and forth in the CRM to tell what happened. And so most of the interactions are auto-sync, email are auto-sync, LinkedIn conversations are auto-sync. But when it comes to taking notes, assigning tasks to team members, or just adding leads from LinkedIn or Twitter or whatever, you can do that without going back to the CRM with this little Chrome extension where you can add the leads super rapidly, write your notes, see what happened in the past. So people tend to like this a lot as well. But yeah.
I'm seeing something else here then too that we didn't talk about is it sounds like even though you say, hey, it'll be good if you have a few records available that you could upload into your CRM before you get started with Breakcold, it also looks like using the Google Chrome, what do we call it again?
The Chrome extension.
Using the extension. Technically, I can start building my list while I'm using this as well. I can go to LinkedIn, find people that I want to interact with, and start adding them there, and it goes into my Breakcold CRM.
Yeah, absolutely. People, this is what they do. They do the most, actually, like because they don't like target thousands of companies at once. They tend to maybe target 100 of companies, and they just build a list step by step every day by being active on LinkedIn and email, because you can, like I say, you can use this Chrome extension from everywhere. So you can use it from LinkedIn, but also from Gmail, Outlook, WhatsApp, or YouTube. And so, they just add leads on the go like this. So, yeah.
It looks like also, if I'm looking at the screen correctly, right there where it says icebreakers and stuff, it looks like there's you could put the sales sequences in here as well. The playbook.
You can kind of prepare your variables for your email sequences. Whether you can use that with Breakcold, because we have a campaigns model that is just about email. But what people do is that they tend to just write the icebreakers here, and they don't really use us for the outbound section. Like I said, it's really about nurturing and closing deals with Breakcold. So maybe they will prepare the variables in the CRM, then push the data to instantly smart lead them list. Then once they have positive replies, like the lead just updates themselves there directly inside Breakcold. But yeah.
Do you find that folks that have, people signing up, especially small business owners, for example, do you find that they have all of these things already set up? Like they're thinking about it, like they're running sequences. Are they thinking about campaigns in a way that works well with how Breakcold works? Do they even have pipeline stages? Like, what are you seeing are some of the things that, again, in preparing to have success with Breakcold, are things that people could get help with beforehand, so they actually have the stuff that Breakcold needs to allow them to accelerate their revenue growth?
Yeah, I think there's two types of people. So maybe we can talk about it super rapidly. But people who never had a CRM before, and most of this time is new businesses. So they're kind of discovering all the tools at once, just not Breakcold, just not a CRM. They're discovering everything at once. So these kind of people, they need more education. That's probably why they're seeing this video. But also, we do have a very extensive, a training program inside the software that is absolutely free, even though you're not paying for the software, where basically we teach you how to do B2B sales in general, how to build a good sales stack that makes sense and that works together, and with many different tutorials. So that would be a way to prepare yourself to use the software and just to understand B2B sales and what works these days, not like 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Because if you type on Google, you will find very outdated content about how to generate leads, but also how to close deals. So that would be for the people who never had a CRM. But for the people who already are in the game, kind of, they're already using a CRM and they're already using sales tool, outbound tools. So for them, it's just about how can I replace that tool with a new one? And so when they arrive to the platform, they already have the tools that they're using. So let's do an example. We do have some lead generation agencies on the platform, and they all use either Smart Lead or Instantly to generate leads. So to do cold emailing at scale. So for them, it's easy. They know how to do cold emailing already. They're pretty familiar with the concept of B2B sales. So when they go to the pipeline for the first time, they say, oh, okay, I'm familiar with what the sales pipeline is. So they're just going to pick a template. We're kind of guiding the users depending on which type of company they have. So you can have a template for social selling, a template if you're a lead generation agency, template if you're a salesperson, etc.
To quickly be able to set up the pipeline. So in here, you can just click on one, and if you don't know where to start, you can start with a pipeline, and then you can make adjustments as you learn more about how to run it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what people do most of the time. And just search for the type of company they have. And we also have adjustments. For example, if you're a real estate agent, there's a vocabulary that is linked to being a real estate agent. So we like deal shaping stage, etc. From there, it's really straightforward. And if you mix that with our little tutorials, within 30 minutes, an hour, you can be really well trained, which sounds a lot, an hour, but when it comes to a CRM, it's really nothing compared to the learning curve of our legacy CRMs. So it's also something we haven't talked that much, but we kind of have this lightweight aspect in the sense that, yes, it's a CRM, but normally CRMs, they're really complicated to use. And with us, the learning curve is super rapid because, again, we try to do things in a more modern way. So the UI, UX, the ease of use, we really put many efforts on that. So the software doesn't look like a 2010 software, So, yeah.
Nice. Well, Arnaud, thank you so much for talking to us today and sharing Breakcold with us. Really, for those of you guys that are new to the game, so I'm gonna summarize my takeaways. If you've got Pipedrive, or if you're using Close and you're trying to run cold LinkedIn plays and email plays, you might want to consider Breakcold. The other thing actually that we didn't talk as much about is that Breakcold, the way you all do it, Arnaud, for the LinkedIn, is really focused on nurturing and building relationships and maintaining relationships with the people. So in measuring that success, one part is keeping your prospects warm until they convert, right? Is a part also you guys kind of extract. Also, for folks out there, then it sounds like you can go straight to the Breakcold website, www.breakcold.com. You can click on help and you will actually get access to training on how to do everything that you can do in Breakcold so that even before you buy, you can set everything up so that once you decide to buy Breakcold, you can hit the ground running. So that's an awesome feature that you all have there as well. At least the education part is super important when trying to maximize use of tech, of software. So those are my big highlights, or takeaways from our conversation today, Arno.
Yep.
All right, great. Well, hopefully those of you all watching got some value out of this today. You can click the link in the description to access the resources that Breakcold has for you to start learning how to set your CRM up right. Your whole B2B outreach plays in a way that could accelerate your revenue growth. And then, of course, you could also click in the description to set up a call with someone from Breakcold that can help you consider buying the software. Thanks again, Arno, and we'll catch you guys on the next episode of the Transform Sales Podcast Sales Software Review.
Thanks, Tony. Bye.